the network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is an AVNation special, Crestron Masters 2019 with Jason Oster. My name is Tim Albert. I'm your host. We traveled to Crestron Masters 2019 and hung out with a bunch of their programmers, some of their instructors, as well as one of their keynote speakers. This episode of AVNation special, we talked with Jason Oster from Crestron, asking him, what does Crestron Masters mean to him?
What it means to me as a Crestron employee is I get to talk to all these guys that I normally don't get to talk to during the normal course of the year.
Okay.
Not counting going to some of the trade shows and going out to site a few times. Like, this is one of the best times when I get to hear real feedback and then take that feedback and build it into products that we ship next year or in the coming months. So I love it.
What's been some of the best feedback you've gotten this year or in years past?
Well, really, all combined, all the feedback from the last 2 years in many ways have built what's now Crestron Home OS 3.
Okay.
So a lot of the feedback that we got from the user interface, from the original one that we did starting like 5 years ago, once people gave us feedback, quote-unquote complaints about certain things, we took all of that, made a super list, and checked down the lists when we went into the design sessions for OS 3. So it's really been helpful.
When you're getting feedback, what is the difference to you between complaints and actual feedback? Or do you just kind of combine them both together?
No, I think complaints are, the word itself sounds negative, but it's stuff that people run into when they're trying to complete their job. Like, they're trying to finish something, they're trying to do something, and they are stopped by something. So I take that very seriously. Right? If they can't complete their job, we can't complete our job. Right? Our job is to be able to control everything in the house, and if they're stuck on something, we haven't succeeded. So we try to take these complaints and turn them into the positive. Like, okay, you can't do X, well, let's figure out Y, and then figure out how to solve it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's been good.
What's your favorite part of the new OS 3?
Just the experience.
Okay.
Like, the fast startup time, very easy to navigate, it's very intuitive, it's very quick. Like, all the most common tasks are all up front. So I don't have to navigate through a whole bunch of menus. It's all right up there and easy to get to.
All right, very good. When it comes, what is the biggest difference if somebody they're a commercial programmer or they're a residential programmer? What would you say is the biggest misconception about the other side?
That's a good question.
Because you understand they are two different animals.
Yeah. Well, from the resi side, I'm guessing they probably think, oh, those commercial guys got it easy. What, do they got one room? What, are they controlling 3 or 4 sources? Come on. I got a mega mansion with 72 zones. I'm controlling every subsystem in there. Commercial guys are routing a laptop to a screen. Come on. That's probably what some of them may be thinking, but I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth.
Yeah.
From the other side, I don't know. Commercial looking at resi, it's probably it's hard to say, but maybe they interpret that it's a complex system for not as much benefit.
Okay.
Maybe they probably perceive that, oh wow, you got to do a lot of work just to get out of that job, right? That's I don't know.
It's been said to me that working in commercial, you have to satisfy the executive assistant or maybe the CEO.
Yeah.
But working in residential is so much harder because you have to satisfy the homeowner in their personal space, and they take it more personally than commercial. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. Both the homeowner and everybody else in that house that is going to be talking directly to the homeowner, right? Like, they probably have to make every user in that home happy.
Yeah. How do these folks, how do the residential programmers do that then on a consistent basis enough to make a living at it?
So that's another reason why we built Crestron Home, to make it easier for them to do that, because it's difficult. There's a lot of things to program. We're not just controlling remote control programming a VCR anymore. We're controlling very complex systems, right? We're controlling Sonos and controlling Sonos in every room from every other room, controlling thermostats across the entire house. Like, it's very complex, and frankly, it's difficult to program. So what we're trying to do is build that framework into Crestron Home, so people don't have to keep writing that over and over. Every programmer writing their own version of lighting scenes, their own version of Sonos. If we can just bake it into the infrastructure and the framework, then they can come in and add their value on top of that. They don't have to start from scratch and draw every single lighting button on the screen.
This morning, the keynote was an architect talking about the modularness of architects and architecture, and drew an interesting correlation between that and the AV industry. And his argument to architects, and his argument by extension to the folks in the room, was there's nothing wrong with modular, right? You add your value on top of the modularness. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. Yeah, because then you can build almost like Lego blocks. You take the little Lego blocks or modules, you can assemble them, and they can add value by assembling them in different ways, as well as adding stuff on top of the Lego blocks, or essentially building their own Lego blocks. But again, they're not starting from scratch. They're using these modules to get further along.
A couple of years ago, Crestron Masters went from what had been a purely programmer-centric event, and you guys started inviting designers and other people within the ecosystem. What do you think the biggest advantage of that is?
The biggest advantage of that is if we didn't do that, we're too pigeonholed, right? We're only focused on programmers. We really should be focused on the entire solution, which is, programming is a big part of that, but the entire solution includes everything else that goes with it. The design aspects, what you're doing 3 months even before the job even starts is a big thing, right? You need to design the systems correctly up front. So I think it's important that we're talking about all of those aspects of a job and not just the programming aspects here at Masters.
If you could wave a magic wand and add anything to Masters, or take it away, how would you change it?
Ooh, that's a good question. I can't think of anything that I would change at the moment.
Okay.
Can't think of anything.
All right. Very good.
I would want to ask the attendees, really.
Okay.
The ones that should be driving this. Yeah.
All right.
But from my perspective, from teaching the classes and from talking to the people, even in the hallways, at lunchtime, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm getting a lot of good feedback. I'm learning a lot about their workflows. I think it's great.
All right. Very cool. Cool. Thanks, sir.
For AVNation, you can find us at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv. You'll find programs like this, as well as a host of others, including our 2 weekly programs, AV Week, which comes your way every single Monday, and Resi Week, which comes your way every single Wednesday. They both look at the news of the week from both the pro as well as residential AV industry. All that and more at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.